Last week has been an interesting week for me, right? I met three different folks at three different startups, right? And all these startups are scattered globally in entire different regions. For me, that's an attestation of the fact that these videos are working. The folks really like these videos. They found value in this, and that is why I had an opportunity to speak to them. So thank you so much. If you have been watching these videos, I would highly encourage that you share your feedback. Let me know what really is helpful to you guys. So in this video, I really want to answer one of the questions. I had a discussion with one of my ex-colleagues, right, who now heads sales at one of the startups. Now it's a small startup. They don't have the budget and the luxury of buying every application out there, especially Salesforce and all those tools. They are expensive. If you have used, you'd know that, right? So this video is for you. If you are a small startup, if you are starting off, how do you go about it, right? I would highly encourage that don't get lost in all the metrics. I mean, we all want to know all the things, right? We want to know where the lead is coming from, how many times have they engaged with our website, what are the pages they have landed on, right? We also want to see what is the CAC, what is the conversion ratios, what is it's a paid lead, organic, inbound, outbound, why we lost, why we dropped, why we won, all the data, right? It's all important, but don't get lost in the information fatigue right at the beginning when you're starting off, right? And if you are a small startup, I would highly encourage that you start off the basics, right? Understand what is important to you. Assume you are on a CRM, say Pipedrive or the others, where you don't have the leverage of collecting a ton of data. And that is exactly where the process piece comes in, right? A solid process can fix the loopholes, can help you collect so much right data if you really encourage your users, if you enforce that in the right way, right? So assume you are on Pipedrive, and I would highly encourage, if you are collecting data at the lead level, these are the bare minimum you should collect, right? The first name, the last name, and the email ID. You'd see that these are like the very basics. Why would I even speak about it? I've seen this, that there are a lot of leads people collect without email IDs. Now, having bad data is bad than having no data. Trust me. So ensure that you have these fields collected. Ensure where the lead is coming from. I mean, which company is the lead from? What is the source of the lead? Is that a paid or the organic? It's inbound or outbound. These are the bare minimum. First name, last name, company. What is the lead source? It's a paid, organic, or it's inbound or outbound. Why do I tell this? Assume now you choose, down the line you grow, you get into the growth phase, you raise seed money, and now you have enough budget to move to Salesforce. I want to be making sure that you have enough data when you move this data, migrate this data to Salesforce. There is a treasure trove of information, there is a treasure trove of data that you can really slice and dice and see what your historical patterns looks like, right? You don't have to be on Salesforce and start from scratch saying this is where we start collecting the right data. You don't have to wait for the future to come. Do that from right away. These are the bare minimum. And if you're building opportunities, if you're creating opportunities, ask your users to collect at least these information. Which SDR or the BDR created it, whoever created, they need to get credit, and there is a view comp of them, right? Who is the owner? If it is, and where is this op coming from, right? It came from an inbound lead, outbound lead, or it's sales generated, whether it came from partnerships or it came from customer success as an upsell, all those stuff. Please do make sure that you capture that. And if it is an inbound one, do make sure that whether it's coming from paid or organic, what is the amount on the opportunity, why we won, lost or dropped, and who the competitor was, right? Who created it, who owns the op, it's inbound or an outbound. If it is inbound, it's paid or organic, and what is the amount on the deal, why we won, lost or dropped, and who's the competitor. These are the bare minimum that you really should capture. Will totally help you when you migrate to a larger CRM like Salesforce, where you can actually have validations, where you do not allow your users to move or save the deal until they really capture. But when you're in a smaller CRM or other applications, define a very clear process, right? So what I highly suggest is, how do you go about ensuring a process, right? The fun fact is that these smaller startups again have a very minimal employees, right? Now that's how there are not too many variables that go out of your control. So you can really enforce these processes. You can really encourage your users that this is the process. Say, assuming you are closing a deal. Now you want your users, you want your account executive to fill in the details. How do you go about that? Ask them, encourage them that the way to the process, defined process, is that whenever you close a deal, whether it's won, lost or dropped, give them a Google form link where you capture all the details, right? Ask them to fill the details in those Google forms with a link to this record on Pipedrive saying why we won the deal, why we lost, capture all those details. And down the line, you have so much information, you really can slice and dice and take that down in an CSV file, and you still can do a ton of analysis. And when you finally ready to migrate to Salesforce or other CRMs, you still can do that so nicely. I mean, processes exist only for the sole reason because there are loopholes, there are handicaps in any application. Even with using Salesforce, I still have a ton of processes going on only because Salesforce still can't do all the juggling around. And Salesforce, of course, can't be doing talking to every other application. That is where I define a process, saying my users have to do this, and that is how it completes, right? So don't be fooled by the limitations of an application. The process exists because there are limitations in the application. Should you need any help on how to go about this, I'm all game. Feel free dropping a comment and I'll be more than glad to help you guys. My name is Rajesh. I am your friendly neighborhood sales ops guy. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.